Welcome to Tuesdays One Garage. This is going to be a different show. We're going to actually talk about different subjects besides, crypto and investments and all this other stuff. So today we'll be talking about collectibles.
Yep. Just thought it'd be fun to do something different, and we both collect stuff. So I don't know. Should be fun. What do you want to start off?
Sure. Yeah. So I have a little bit of I guess go with my background. Let's start with that. Like, yeah, when I was a kid, I would collect. I always like talking about it because I talk about it with other people too. When I was a kid, I used to collect. I first started. I didn't start collecting comic books when I was young. I started collecting Fleer Marvel cards. I don't know if you remember those embezzled ones. The ones that are like the little cards that like have texture on them, and then like they have like X-Men and like Spider-Man, Spawn, and all that stuff. Collected those, and then through that I discovered that you can get cards with your comic books. So I would buy comic books and cards and stuff, collect that. But primarily it was the clear cards that were so back then they're like whatever, but now they're sought after.
Interesting.
People are reminiscing back into the 90s where they were kind of like a baseball card in a way. But anyways, then I gave that up. And I was like, I grew out of it, I guess, or whatever the case may be. And then graduated and lived my life, whatever. And then I started investing in crypto and like stocks and stuff. And then I found a company that was a digital collectible company called VB, which I have their NFTs in the back also. That got me into collecting again. It started the passion again, right? So then they incorporated comic books. So they had statues, comic books, portraits, 3D imaging of statues. So I started, I was like, you know what, that's cool. Like, I want to start pairing physical to digital. I want the physical statue, and I want the digital copy or the digital version of it. And I started doing that. And then they released comic books. And then the comic books, I was like, you know what? I'm doing the physical and digital statues. Like, that's cool. That's way cool. Like, let me do the comic books too. Started doing the comic books. Started pairing my comic books with a digital one. And then I just like found like a community and an app that was like just crazy. Like, you can get pretty much any comic book you want for a great price, and like everyone's cool. Everyone like same thing with the VV stuff where like there was a group and everyone talked about like the next pump on these like special ones, what's the next hype train or whatever. So anyways, now I fell into actually being part of a team and selling exclusive comics. So I have exclusive comics. I also collect, Marvel and DC stuff. Like, I collect a bunch of stuff now. I'm like a collector. So that's a little bit of my background of what I do and like how I started back into the collecting industry of comics and Marvel and DC collectibles.
Yeah. Just trying to think. I'm wearing some stuff. I have, gaming and culture and everything has its own kind of collectible stuff. So I got like a Final Fantasy shirt. If anybody knows what Final Fantasy 7 is.
Those are the real NFTs.
Yeah. And then I got like a Borderlands jacket. So some just random memorabilia. He's got a Venom shirt on.
Yep. Everyone loves Venom.
Pretty cool. But these are two games I've liked a lot or played with people over the years and stuff. And then when I was younger too, I collected NBA cards. Still have some Kobe Bryant rookie cards floating around somewhere like that. But a lot of stuff from like the early 90s, mid 90s, whatever, right? And then I'm sure I got it somewhere in a box somewhere. Started doing that. Played a little bit of Pokemon when I was a kid. And then I had a friend like in elementary, middle school that was like, hey, you like that? You should play Magic. And there's a card shop right by my house, and like literally walking distance, and would go over there and play on the weekends and stuff, and just had a really good time. And if anybody knows, Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic was like the game before, and just really well designed. And it's been around like over 25 years, coming up on 30 or very soon. And just like had a lot of good times with like family, friends, whatever. Just played on and off. So I collected that obviously and watched it grow over time. And I brought a little bit of that to show off just real quick. And then he's going to do some comic books, so I thought I'd bring a comic book too. So I don't do as much comic book stuff, but I figured I have one or two that I've read over time. So I thought I'd bring. So this is actually, it's called the Sandman. It's from the 80s, and these are. So normally it was 75 issues, and somebody introduced this to me and was like, "This is really good. You got to check it out." I have a friend and family also that actually tried to get me into this and a couple other ones. I've read some mangas and stuff, Blame, and there's a couple other ones, but that are really good. But this is probably my favorite one. Yes, it's the Sandman. So it's 75 volumes originally, and they like made a special thing. There's 4 of these big books. Does the whole thing. So like 20 or 25, 30 per book here. So it has a nice collector's thing, and then I will show this off. Yeah.
Do you need lighting?
Okay.
You good?
Yeah. So pretty nice, pretty big book. These were made a number of years ago, I think like 2006 or something, but they've reprinted them a couple times, so they're pretty cool. He's the god of dreams, and his death and destruction, despair, his brother and sisters, and they're kind of like public servants to the universe. So they pretty nice, pretty fun. This is the DC Black Label ones. I don't even think they exist anymore, but yeah, so pretty cool Sandman. I recommend it. I do recommend it, but I would say it's an adult thing, and has some, like harsher realities of life and adult themes. Nothing super crazy, but something that I wouldn't recommend to kids necessarily or anything like that. So it's also like somewhat philosophical and makes you think. It's not like a super easy read, like it sometimes will combine things like from 80 pages ago. So you got to like remember what you're reading, whereas some things are just extremely straightforward. So, yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, like something that you gotta sit there and think about, it's like really good. But anyways, go into some comics.
So Sandman did start off as a comic, and then it became hardback or a large volume like that, condensed. And most collectors, what they do is they'll collect the comics, get them slabbed and encapsulated, and they'll buy these and read these instead of reading actual physical comics, which actually is a genius. You just gotta have room for both. I have a couple Sandman comics. I should have pulled one out, but it's cool. Going back to the comic books, so we have our basic Marvel comics, and then you also have DC, and then you have independent label publishing companies, and it becomes another rabbit hole where you have like the original cover, then you have variant covers, which is the same book, this is a different cover art from different artists, and then you have other stories that aren't part of your normal comic book. That's another publishing company. If you're looking for something specific like horror or like new age type of thing, which is not just like Spider-Man. It's like we're talking about like, for example, I have this book here. It's a gun book. The author who wrote it, it's called We Gods. It's about a robot who kills gods. He kills gods because they're evil, and it's kind of like The Boys, where like superheroes are actually bad. You know what I mean? They're not really like supposed to be like, they're not very good people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It brings that kind of like literature to you.
Yeah.
Then Spider-Man's a good guy, and he's out there killing bad guys and doing a good thing. He's just amazing. And then you got Thor, who's like a god who just like protects people and fights other evil people. And this is more of an independent style, which these ones spec harder, like in the secondary market. So because they're more highly likely to be option for a show, like The Boys were as well. And all that stuff. Okay. So this is an exclusive. When you have an exclusive in an indie company, it's easier to get an exclusive because Marvel requires you to buy, if you want your own exclusive cover, like you want to hire, like you want your name in the back of the book, you want to hire an artist to do a cover for, let's say, Spider-Man 1, the new one, not the original one.
Yeah.
You would need a large capital. You would need to buy like at least 4,000, 5,000 issues at once with that same cover. I'm not talking about a different cover. Anyways, and these ones, they're easier because you can get these at like 500, 400 prints.
Yeah.
Different covers, whatever you want to do. They come with certificates of authenticity, but that one didn't have it. Doesn't have it. In the back, it just tells you a little bit of the information, who makes it, print run. They
authenticate.
Yeah, they authenticate. I was like, let's talk it out.
Too long of a date.
Yeah, dude. They authenticate that this is the real original copy of it. Anyways, so this is another one. This is a horror one. It's called The Creep Show. John Gacy was a actual person in the 80s or 90s, I believe, who was a clown, and he did clown shows, and then he was also a serial killer. He killed people.
Okay.
A real life person.
Dang.
This is a kind of a cover of that homage. It's called a homage of like that guy who killed people, but it's more of a zombie-like style. But if you look at one of his pictures, that's the same outfit he's wearing. It just looks like a zombie. Then we have the Weed Gods, and then this one was 400 total, but this is only for this trade was only I would say 200. That's not what it says on there. It says on there 200 for the original trade. The foil was only 100, and the metal cover is only 25.
You want to get up and show me those?
Yeah, I'll get up and show them. Yeah, it's really dark. I think you're right, dude. Look at this house.
Yeah, I can like show this off again.
Yeah.
And cut it back in.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Go for it.
So we have the Creep Show. And then the authenticity that's in the back, and the print run. It gives you all the details and everything. And then we have the trade of the Weed Gods. And this one's also signed by the cover artist. And this is the 100 run, 100 prints on this one out of a 400 total print run. This one it's called Battle Damage. He actually created a remark, which is a drawing over his cover. And signed it on this. So this is a remark, and it also has the authenticity in the back. The authenticity in the back telling you, certified. So that's pretty much what exclusive independent comics are. And then you have your exclusive Marvel DC comics, which are pretty much the same thing, just in a more massive, larger scale. Like this is this is actually just a regular comic, older comic. I like the older comics because they're hard to find. This is pull it out because I don't like the bag on it. But this is what you would call a exclusive version. Artist is Peach Momoko, and in the back it tells you, it gives you the cover. Original cover and who made it and all the information, all the logos. But they call it Virgin because the front has no logos or any kind of barcode. Yeah. And then it's a traditional comic book, Thor. But the colors and everything are just amazing. I mean, it's beat up. Like, this is what age does to like an older comic book.
How old is it?
I think it's I would like to say 70s, but I think it's so beat up that it's like
70s. Wow, that's pretty sweet.
1975.
Dang, wow, that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah.
Battle Damage. Yeah, so this book is a 1975 issue of Thor, the Mighty Thor. I love older books is because they're hard to find, and most of them look like this or even worse. So if you find an issue that looks minty, like near perfect, it's big bucks. That's what makes comic books. So that's what makes comic books worth a lot of money. Is the quality and then the way they survive through time.
Yeah.
So anyway, you want to
Yeah. So since the light wasn't amazing, so we had this comes out, pull out the book, and then we got. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a huge book, big volume. So like I said, there's 4 of these. There's 4 of these that do the whole story, and then there's like a bonus 1 or 2 with some side stories and like extra content and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat. And then this is like in the 1980s. So going back to what Leo was saying, some of it's harder to collect. We probably did less variants. They did a little bit, I'm sure, back then, but I'm sure like some of the original one-offs or ones that they only printed like a couple hundred, I'm sure worth like an outrageous amount, especially in good condition.
Thousands.
But a lot of things don't become cult classics and hits too. So I'm sure some things, people collect everything, and well, Sandman's really something people love for throughout time, so it's gonna be worth more, right?
Yeah.
I have a friend that actually collects comic books and stuff, and like he ended up getting 1 or 2 that they almost printed nothing of, and people loved it, and it's worth way too much, thousands of dollars just because there was none of these that really exist. So pretty cool. I know that first issue sometimes can be worth just an insane amount if it pops off with people. It's highly sought after. So
yeah, first issues are worth a lot if it pops off, but then they're even worth even more if they have first appearances or if there's something significant that happens in the storyline and the plot. Also raises its value. So if you have like a first issue of like, let's just say Spider-Man, a modern, like a recent issue, we're not talking about the original number 1, but we're just talking about like Marvel comes up with another Spider-Man number 1, different storyline, but it has like 10 different first appearances, and then all of a sudden a year or 2 later you have a few of these characters actually be going in a movie or animation.
Right.
The book just skyrockets to an insane amount just because everyone that specs will buy, and everyone that FOMOs will buy the book because they don't want to leave money on the table as far as like speculating. But anyways,